I'm Amberly Lago, and I'm so excited and so grateful that you're here with me for the True Grit and Grace podcast. First of all, I think most of us have experienced some sort of challenge in our life, or most of us have experienced some sort of trauma in our life, whether it's big or small, whether you've had a breakup or a breakdown, maybe you lost your job, or maybe you got sick, but something that wasn't supposed to happen that definitely was not a part of your plans. For me, that has happened more than a few times, and I'm just grateful that I'm here and I can finally be at a place where I can share these experiences with you and not only hopefully give you some inspiration, but also teach you and share with you the tools and the tips that I have learned along the way to be resilient and to get back up time and time again. So it's my sincere wish that these podcast episodes will allow you to bust through your fear, overcome your challenges, and really find joy in life, no matter what your circumstances are, and allow you to thrive. And each week, I'm going to bring on a special guest that will share their experience from struggle to success and hopefully really inspire you, because I've already recorded a few guests and they have completely just inspired me, and I can't wait to share those with you. For those of you who don't know me, again, my name's Amberly Lago, and I really hope that you'll reach out to me through Instagram. You can DM me at Amberly Lago Motivation or shoot me an email at amberlylago.com, because this is really for us to grow together. And I'm so excited to know what you think about the podcast. And I'm also going to be answering any questions that you send in on the next episodes that I launch. So please reach out. I grew up in a small town in Texas, and my parents got divorced at a young age. I was 8 years old, and my mom was a single mom for a while, and she worked hard. She had 2 jobs and just to put food on the table, but she remarried a man who was an awful, awful man. He ended up sexually abusing me. So I had a lot of shame from that, and my default was to do something to make me feel good. And so I chose to really work hard in school and make straight A's. I got into athletics and ran track, and I didn't realize at the time, but I was not only running because it felt good, I felt like I was really running away from all my problems. I also spent most of the time at the dance studio because that's where my passion was. That's what I love to do, and it just felt safe for me. Not only that, I had, there were 7 of us kids, and I had an older brother who we talk now and I forgive him, but he used to use me as a punching bag. And I'm actually grateful for that experience because later in life, it led me to take Krav Maga and get a belt in self-defense and really learn how to protect myself. So I learned from a very young age that I was going to have to protect myself, and I knew that I was going to have to work hard if I wanted my dreams to come true. At age 13, I got my first job, and I then, I worked as a lifeguard. I taught dance. I scrubbed toilets. I babysat. I did whatever I could to make money, and I saved up $1,200. I bought my very first car, which was a little Suzuki Samurai, and after I graduated, like a month after I graduated, I packed up that little Suzuki Samurai and off I went for California. Against a lot of, my friends were like, oh, you're never going to make it. You'll be back. My parents weren't too thrilled about it, but I did have a partial scholarship to UCLA. So that was kind of my way of saying, yeah, I'm going to go to college. But I actually knew deep down in my heart, if I made this scholarship audition for this dance studio called the Dance Center, that was what I was going to do. And I made it. I auditioned. Now, let me tell you, I was the worst dancer that made scholarship. I kind of feel like they just felt sorry for me and took me in, but I worked hard. In fact, I was required to take the most ballet classes, the most dance classes out of anybody on scholarship. And it worked. And it showed me that sometimes it's not just talent that gets you places, but sometimes just your hard work can get you to places more than talent even can, because I got a dance agent and then I started my dance career. I did fitness videos later, but first, actually, my very first music video was with MC Hammer. And so, yeah, Can't Touch This was my very first video. I then traveled to Japan. I did commercials. I did industrials, and life was good. I actually ended up meeting a man that I was with long enough to have my beautiful daughter, Savannah, with. I was a single mom after, and for years I was a single mom. And so living in LA was tough. Now I not only had to support myself, but I had to figure out how to support my daughter too. So in between dance jobs and waiting tables at 2 different restaurants, I then went to school to learn how to be a professional fitness trainer. I got certified. I started picking up clients, and I would take my daughter with me to work, and she would sit underneath the little office cubicle while I trained clients. And, I just did what I had to do. I then met my husband, who I'm married to now. His name is Johnny, and we have a daughter together, and her name's Ruby. And life started getting a little comfortable. Like, everything was pretty linear. Like, I knew my clients that I would train every day. I had trainers that worked for me. I felt like I was living the California dream, and it was all a beautiful life until suddenly everything changed. I was coming home from work on my motorcycle when I was hit by an SUV, and my leg was completely crushed. My femoral artery was severed. I was rushed to the hospital and put in induced coma. And when I woke up, the first thing I learned was doctors were going to amputate my leg. I had a 1% chance of saving my leg. And despite dozens of doctors recommending to amputate, I chose to keep it. And I have people ask me a lot, well, why did you want to keep it? And for me, there was just no other question in my mind. When they gave me a 1% chance, it gave me a glimmer of hope. And so I was going to do everything I could to save it. Well, that took 34 surgeries. It took months in the hospital and thousands of hours of excruciating physical therapy. And I really thought the worst was over until I went in for a doctor's appointment and I was diagnosed with complex regional pain syndrome. Now, I had never heard of this. To walk into a doctor's office, and I really thought he was going to be so proud of me because I was finally upright on my crutches. I was told it would take me 2 years to start walking again, and it took me about 4 months to be upright. I was determined, and just like things in my life that had been pretty linear, I thought you work hard, you get better, and that's just how it goes. When he diagnosed me with this disease, he told me to go get back in my wheelchair and put my leg up. And I said, well, for how long? And he said, forever. He said, things are never going to get better. You're going to be permanently disabled. You need to go back in that wheelchair and stay there. I was crushed. I was devastated. I felt like I had been given a life sentence. But I didn't go home and get back in my wheelchair. Instead, I went straight to physical therapy. And I told the physical therapist, I have just learned something and I'm going to have to work harder than I've ever worked before if I want to have the life that I've always imagined. Now, I had no idea how hard that was going to be. And I didn't know just how dark of a place that pain would lead me to. So it is my passion to share with you everything that I've learned and how to rise up again from a place where I wanted to die, but I was too scared to die, but I didn't want to continue living. So it's my sincere wish that these tips and tools will help you no matter what you're going through. I actually did a TED Talk that explains more detail about my accident, and it explains the PACER method, which stands for perspective, acceptance, community, endurance, and rest. So if you Google Amberly Lago TEDx talk, you can listen to that. And if you want me to break down that tool even more, I'm so happy to do that in this podcast. Just shoot me a DM or an email, and I would love to break that down even more.